well, let's jump on to the
Hashtag AskRUSA.
Why do you do it this way?
Well, what do you think?
Yeah, hashtag.
What's the difference?
But you don't. Anyway,
Hashtag AskRUSA. AskRUSA. Some questions.
We've got loads of questions that have come in this week.
Right.
So fantastic. Thank you very much for all of your input. There's a first question here is from Rugby Union AU. Again, we've talked about that, not the official Rugby Australia channels, but somebody is following that. But talking about a round 13 match, so not the game that was played this weekend, but the one before.
Yes.
In the under 16s. So Rugby Union AU asking for Swarm versus Old Coals recap, please. Looked like a close game.
It was a close game, actually.
So the final score was 24-17 to the Swarm.
Correct.
And that one, I
was refereeing that game.
For that match.
I was refereeing that game.
Give us a quick synopsis of what happened.
Cracker of a game. Both teams really throwing everything at it. It was a heated game, passionate, should we say? Not necessarily heated.
Which is one of the 5 values.
Very much so. Lots of passion on the field about the game, not too much spilled over, so that was good. It was all related to the game and whatever have you. Players making a lot of mistakes, unfortunately, here and there, which frustrated each of them, I think. Mm-hmm. But what a cracker! Wow, 17 all with minute and a half to play.
Yep.
The Swarm got a penalty, kicked it out, got the line out, and went through and scored. So rounded it out at the end there. But what a really exciting game, right to the wire, and stuff. It's good to be a part of as a referee.
Good under 16s competition, another match in there.
Absolutely, it could have gone either way. Yeah.
All right, so next one is Darcy Mulrooney asking, where's the state trips to next year?
Cool, Darcy.
Pathways manager.
We did
throw to you again.
There we go. We did talk about it last week, Darcy. Or was it the week before? Can't remember. We were talking pathways.
Yeah. Yep.
And said how we want to have regional competition for all of our age groups, and then hopefully follow that up with going to the Southern States Junior Championships again with all of our junior age groups, the 12s, 14s, 16s and 18s,
yeah, right,
all going to those junior championships. So that would be the plan. I think that was a really competitive competition for us this year, really exciting and a lot of fun. So that's what we're aiming at for next year.
Good stuff. And pathway opportunity into there as well, with because you had guys from Melbourne Rebels and things come and have a look at more the senior players and stuff too. Is that right?
Yes, yeah, very much so. But also some scouts from the Brumbies too. Mm-hmm. So lots of opportunities there for our younger players to be able to put their hand up and play at the next level. So,
good stuff.
Awesome.
Okay, and that will because there'll also be, speaking about the state trips, there'll also be the schoolgirls. So that's
correct.
Back
Under
to
18
Sydney.
Schoolgirls will be nationals.
Yeah.
Run by Rugby Australia. Looks like that'll be in Sydney again next year. Yeah. And then that's all for 15s for the juniors. Yeah. And then there's obviously the 7s and seniors.
Okay. No, great. All right, so Aaron Hawthorne 94. Actually, sorry, not Aaron.
That's Aaron.
Aaron. Who is the Participation Development Manager from Northern Territory Rugby.
He is. Good to see you, Aaron. Good to see that.
Asking why. Why don't Pete, Jason, and Lisa have a competition? Push-ups, sit-ups, plank. So probably not much competition with me in there. So probably hand that to Jason and Lisa.
Lisa might take that one. No, it'd be fun. Good idea, Aaron. We'll have I reckon we'll have. Maybe we'll do the whole office.
Yeah, maybe we need a SA versus NT.
Here we go. Yeah, you will. You film it up there. We'll film one down here, and we'll have a see what we can do. Maybe we can set it up nationally.
We'll probably have to put ours on time lapse though, because we'll be going for so long.
Oh yeah, I mean we'll have to shorten it up.
Aaron, I'll need to do real time, but we'll get to that.
Oh, he might need to do it in slow mo.
Or maybe
he's going to keep it up with us. So that's fair. That's
good. Enough. And then Aaron again. Is it true? Jason is the Jason from Jason Bourne.
No.
Who's from Jason Bourne? Jason Bourne, not Jason.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Which isn't called Jason Bourne.
No. The Bourne Identity.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
No. Matt Damon is far more good looking.
Matt Damon.
Okay. Pilco Jr.
Right.
Who are some promising young players, juniors, we should be looking out for?
Oh, it's tough to say really. We've got some real quality juniors out there who are playing some fantastic rugby. A few come to mind very quickly. Obviously, the players we're working with the academy, who are really playing really well. Some of the real juniors with the girls, Grace Bridge, Foxy Clune, Ella Christie, those younger girls who are now coming into the women's game, who've developed really well without having I think it's the first group of girls who are coming through who haven't had the gap, where they've been able to play all the way through, and we're really starting to see that development paying off with these talented youngsters coming into the women's game. So from women's perspective, we got some of those.
I mean, young fellas like Carl Arnold. Who's got his toes. He's got his toes in a couple of sports.
Unfortunately, he plays a summer sport too that he does very well at.
Yes.
But he's a talent. The two Lapworth brothers, Gervais and McIsaac.
Yes.
Both very big talents who make a massive impact when they're on the field. The Harrit-Saris brothers, Dion, Spiro and Costa, young players who are really coming through and putting some authority on the game. Big centre in Lewis Boyle. He's a physical young man. He's got the talents to put together. I mean, we joked about moving him to the front row in the off season, but I still think he'd be a talented front row. But he's a big crash ball centre and loves carrying the ball, and he's got the hands to deliver decent passing too. Good. Cameron Field, our under 18 captain, is a great rugby person, not only a player, but really carries our values very well, which is something we're obviously very proud of. So it's just, there's all these players. There's a couple from down south under 16s at Onkers. There's Liam Fitzsimmons and Blake Nash who are doing great things down there. Again, good players, but also just good rugby people. They live the values of the game and players we can really be very proud of. Obviously, it's tough to answer these things off the cuff, and I'm sure there's players that are. There's a Chris McClare who won an award while we were away for his spirit of rugby, and those are things we're very proud of. Which are just as important as on-field technical athletic performance is absolutely the way you carry yourself behaviourally and with your team and all the mental aspects. Very much so. There's so many reasons why you want to have someone in a team environment and why someone can make it that next step. And if you're not that kind of person who's going to bring those values, most teams around the world are not going to be interested in having you in their environment. So some real talent out there in the younger age groups, and really looking forward to seeing them blossom as we move forward. Good stuff. All right, Benny, Jesse, what are we doing to recruit more women for 2020? A lot of teams struggling with numbers. Good question, and particularly that. What referring to the numbers that certain of the women's teams are struggling with at the moment. So what have we got? We got a bunch of things on the go here from the union perspective. So we're going to expand on what was initiated last year when the Women's Foundation was launched. And we had a female participation day and a clinic and things with former Wallaroo captain Ash Hewson. Came and visited, and we had a lot of fantastic day out there with a load of girls and seniors and all that. So looking to repeat that effort, but to expand on it such that have a more structured clinic for the Litleys, and then the mid-range junior females, and then some senior females as well. Potentially even have some possibles, probables in senior women's before they go away for their clash at the end of the year for their state against the Rebels. Program. It should be tough. Then following that, we want that not to just be a one-day thing, but what's the next steps particularly for those who are brand new to rugby, not experienced before, and those who are interested and want to take that step into rugby without necessarily just being thrown into a senior women's team. And the summertime is really the ideal place for that to happen, right? So there's plans and conversations starting around touch sevens, which is the non-contact version of rugby. Absolutely. We've got get into rugby programs that clubs can participate with and things like that as well. So and particularly I chime on that word we in there. What are we doing?
we've got to work. The union's got to work collaboratively with clubs.
Very much so.
There's so much work that the union can do in potentially creating some opportunities. But on the other side of that is, well, what are clubs doing, and what are clubs willing to do in their target recruitment and things like that as well, and how can we as a union support that, and vice versa, right?
Very much so. And I think a key club to look at in that environment is Onkaparinga, who've done a fantastic job of going from I think when they decided they were going to have a women's team again, they had a handful of female players. Went out, did a lot of recruiting. We did a few things with them from a union perspective, but very much club driven. And I mean, look at them now. They turn up to game day and they have to have players, not even on the bench because they've got so many. So fantastic from that perspective when it's driven by the club who are using, and I think, tools that are available to us, as well as competitions like Soar Sevens, Beach Fives, opportunities there to introduce new players, to capture new players and give them an experience that isn't just your week in, week out train and play, an opportunity to play in an environment where they'll get their hands on the ball a bunch of times and enjoy themselves.
That's right.
And those are things that we have in place, but clubs have got to really jump on board with that.
Yeah, cool. Angus Chave, who do you think will win under 12s? All right, where's our under 12s ladder
That's
here?
tough one. That under 12 one was pretty close, wasn't it? Those top three sides all within 4 points of each other. I don't know. What do you think, Pete?
Look, I am going to go with, on this one, I'm going to go with Brighton, actually.
All right, fair enough. That's all right. There we go. 51 points. Seated in third. That's a good bet. That's a good bet. That's fair enough. I fortunately have been out to under 12 trials on Sunday and Monday. A couple of players weren't out Sunday. They came out and then had to leave, who looked like talented ballers. I think it's going to be very tight between Old Collegians and Onkaparinga. Looking at what I've seen so far this week, I haven't been up north yet. That's Wednesday night. But Sunday and Monday we had the trials for under 12s. It's going to be very tight. Old Coles and Onkaparinga. I'm going to, I'm going to go... I'm going to go Old Collegians. Okay. I'll go Old Collegians for the under 12s. There we go.
Good. And look, based on the stats there, 10 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss. It's pretty good stats for the year for them.
Very much so. Very much so. And they're a good little side, and they seem to have a good mix of forwards and backs. Onkaparinga's got really strong forwards.
Yes.
Powerful, big, strong runners. So it'll actually be a really interesting crack out between those two sides, I think. Hopefully they get to play each other soon.
Good stuff. All right, Sammy Nelson. Does sideline contribution affect the decisions of a ref in an opposing way? So I think this question is geared around, does the sideline commentary, and particularly, I guess, dissent or in some cases abuse of a match official, affect the decisions of a referee in an opposing way?
Well, if it becomes abusive, the referee does have the ability to penalise that team because of unsportsmanlike behaviour by their team and their support and their whatever have you. So that would definitely negatively affect a team. I'd like to think that referees are neutral, and don't buy into someone shouting from the sideline or whatever. In fact, most of the time, to be honest, it's just noise, unless it's a very quiet day with only 10 people on the sideline. As a referee, when there's 100 people cheering on their youngsters or their players on the field, hearing 1 or 2 people shouting things doesn't really happen at all. And it's another argument for referees and coaches from the sideline is, if you are if you're shouting things from the sideline, it doesn't make any difference at all to what a referee is going to call. So the referee can only call what they see. So if it's on the other side of a ruck, they can't call it anyway. So throwing your hands up and shouting helps nothing. And it's not something you can control. All that happens is your players buy into what you do and they do that, and they lose focus on what they control. So from a coaching perspective, we want to focus on what we can control.
Yeah.
So what are your players doing? And if a referee is seeing a breakdown in a certain way, have you coached your players to be able to react to playing in that way? And taking advantage of the conditions on a day. Just like if it was raining or if it was sunny, you might play differently. If a referee is seeing something in a different way, will you be able to adapt to that on game day?
And I think I don't want to spend too long on this, but I want to make something really clear. I've spent far too much time this season, and probably particularly in the last 2 weeks, investigating, understanding, and warning, sanctioning, talking with various people about a few, and I'm talking between 1 and 5 out of 2,500 people in our community. But really inappropriate sideline behaviour, and it just can't continue. Like you've got to shut your mouth. You don't need to be yelling at match officials or anything like that. Match officials love you supporting your own teams. Match officials understand the banter. They understand they're not going to get everything correct. But we've got to divorce this. People on the sideline are saying those things because of what the referee's doing, on the pitch, or who the referee is.
No, people on the sideline are saying those things because they don't know how to behave correctly.
Correct. It could be an emu in the middle of the field with a whistle running around trying to officiate a match.
Yeah.
That doesn't make it...
I like that picture, actually.
It doesn't make it in any way, shape or form okay for anybody to be dissentful or abusive towards a match official.
Agreed.
And a lot of this stuff is being discussed at not only our Rugby Advisory Committee, but will probably be put to CAG next year about what are clubs now. This onus of responsibility has got to come down to clubs with their spectators and the way that they're supporting matches to prevent this from happening, because the reason we're there is, particularly in community rugby, is to have fun and to enjoy it, and that's as much for spectators as it is for players as it is for match officials. Match officials, they work hard on trying to improve their matches. And in fact, you wouldn't need a referee if people just played the game within the laws of the game, right?
Correct.
They're not there to influence the game. Yeah. They're there to officiate when you do something wrong.
Very much. In fact, here we go. My head's always full of interesting and completely useless facts. But when rugby first started, there wasn't a referee.
Yeah.
The captains called the fouls, and they would decide on mistakes and whatever have you. And the referee actually sat in the stands. So when the captains couldn't agree, they would then call the referee out of the stands to come down, make a referee judgment, and then he'd go back and have a seat again and watch the game from up there. So the danger is if people keep behaving this way and shouting from the side. I mean, we're all human.
Yep.
Players make mistakes.
Yep.
They drop the ball, they're a little behind it, they're a little bit offside, they're whatever have you, all right? Referees are human too. They're not going to see everything, and they're only allowed to police what they see, not what they think happened. So I had a player a couple of weeks ago run across in front of me as somebody dropped the ball. Mm-hmm. I couldn't see that it had been knocked on. Logical assessment, you'd go, oh, I think maybe he did, but you can't blow the whistle on, I think maybe he did.
Yeah.
So, we need to understand that referees are human. Up to international standard, we're the best in the world are making mistakes week in, week out.
Yep.
We're all human. We all make mistakes. Things are going to go your way on a certain day or not go your way on a certain day. It's how your team can react to that and how you can inspire your team to react to that and turn things around and play in a different way or adapt to whatever that's happening in front of them. That'll change the way possibly your game or your season goes, rather than blaming a referee for one or two decisions that may have gone against you in I think 60, 70, 80 minutes of rugby.
I think specifically answering the question, does the sideline contribution affect the decision of a referee in an opposing way? No, there's no concerted or deliberate or secret effort by referees to negatively officiate a match because of people on the sideline.
Correct.
We completely divorce the referees and their actions and their development and review of matches from sideline behaviour. People need to understand that their sideline stuff needs to stop, and particularly going into finals, right? We just don't need it. Let's go and have some fun.
I mean, you could have, and also you could on the other side of that, and you couldn't affect it in a positive way either.
No.
You could have a choir of 10,000 people on the side with all chanting at the referee about something. It's not going to change his decision. It's not going to change what he sees on the game.
Yeah.
It's not going to change how he officiates a game. So you know what? Support your team. Get on board. Leave the referee alone and let them do their job.
Excellent. Easy. Next one is DJMK with the question, yes. I think that is in response to our answer that we've just given, is that they agree that sideline behaviour needs to improve and to shut up and leave the referees.
Excellent. All right, DJMK, thank you for your support on that one,
that's
mate.
a good one.
Appreciate it.
Rockabara Big Easy, best visiting team change rooms for cleanliness, space, shower pressure, etc. What does he need shower pressure for? Is it for this flowing locks of hair that he has?
He's a bit of a pretty boy. I think it's to clean his moustache. It's that horrible moustache he's got at the moment.
So we had a quick chat at best visiting team rooms. Well, look, I've had less experience this year. I've played much less rugby than I otherwise normally would. What's been your experiences?
Interesting question he's put in visiting change rooms, because I think visiting change rooms
can be different than the home change rooms.
I think absolutely. At most places they're quite different to the home change room, so they're generally quite smaller and whatever have you, but fair enough. But it is, I mean, obviously it adds to the experience of when you go somewhere. I think one? Tough. It's for me it's I think it's between two, maybe three. I only played at Old Coles early season this year. I don't mind their visitors change room. That's okay. South's recently done up their change rooms. So they're spacious, they're clean, they're always ready to go. That's always nice. They've also always got the massage tables in their change rooms for the visiting team, which is always good. And then I like Barossa. To be honest, I know that their shower areas are quite new, which I think is has some quite modern setup in their change rooms, which I really like. So I think my vote for that one's going to go Barossa. However, hold that thought, Bulla. Sorry, Alex Rockabara. Alex. Sorry.
We'll have new facilities at Brighton. We'll have new facilities at Woodville.
Yes.
You were telling me that Old Collegians
put out that video last week about their upgraded facilities going in. So 3 of those, I would imagine, will surpass anything. Well, you'd hope would surpass anything that we have in the community at the moment.
And Onka's rooms are pretty new as well. But when you compare Onka's visiting room with their home room, if you've ever seen that, I mean, the home room is nice and spacious with their ice bars and gym off to the side, and stuff like that, which is excellent.
It is fantastic. Very much so.
But nothing wrong with the visiting rooms there.
Oh, nothing wrong with them at all. And it is. I have to say, the only you go to your visitors' change room and there's hot water, and there's somebody to change, and it's always nice and clean at all the clubs I've been to this year. So those are important, and get a hot shower after your game is really important. So.
The Chinese French Bulldog is asking how many registered players has SA Rugby had in 2019, and is this an increase in numbers since 2018?
It's over to you, Mr. Competition.
Yeah, why not? I'll have a look. So purely based on registrations through Rugby Explorer. And removing any duplicates, so people who might register multiple times on weekly or monthly or whatever it might be. Our juniors registrations are up on last year, and our senior registrations are slightly down. Overall, and by the time we take into account participation outside of Rugby Explorer, so that's things like Crippled Crows. It can be pre-season competitions such as Beach Fives, where those players don't also play 15s or 7s and things like that. We'd be on par with where our last year, if not ahead. Once we take those in. Right, so that growth path overall is moving in the right way. But particularly when you break it down into juniors and seniors, I'm pleased to see that the juniors is the one which is on the rise.
Very much so.
In the strength there, right?
That's the future of our game, isn't it? So the juniors are growing, the seniors eventually will anyway.
Well, yeah, correct.
That's fantastic news.
So that's where that's at. NRAR, nice to have a shout out from sunny Queensland.
Henry from, I was going to say from the Gold Coast, but he's actually a little further. I think he lives a little further south. Works on the Gold Coast, old Henry. So good to hear from you again, mate. It's been a few weeks.
Why does Jason still wear extra small polo shirts? Well, they actually
maybe
fit him.
Not so.
They fit him now, mate. He hasn't been to the gym for 2 months, right?
Maybe not so great to hear from Henry in here, I'm sure. But Henry, these are still XLs. That you can zoom in if you want to. Have a look. There we go.
Small.
XL.
Okay.
Whatever.
All right. And then Campergram 96. How many yellow cards has Jace received this year? Jason, tell us.
Well, I got the book for
on.
the referees. So Rose gave me a book of cards. So I got a blue, a yellow, and a red.
How many yellow cards have you
go
received?
Out then
as a
I lost
player?
that first book. So then Rose, I accidentally put it in the. It stayed in my pocket when it went in the dryer, which is quite warm as it turns out, and melted. Yeah. So
how many yellow cards have you received, or do you need competition manager to report
competition manager?
Two.
We need two
for 2019 season. How many do you need before?
And fairly recently, actually. So they're all recent. I think I managed to go 13
how many yellow
weeks
cards
without getting one.
How many yellow cards do you get in a season before you miss a week?
3. 3, and then you have a sit out. So I'm not getting any more.
Good.
Decided, yeah. That's it. To be fair, one was justified. I'll wear the one. The other one was a team yellow.
Team infringement.
Team, there'd been a warning, and I may have slowed something down in the red zone.
There you go. All right.
I'm old. It's tough to roll away that quickly,
All right. Our last question for this week. This is a good one. From the Melbourne Rebels official.
Oh, right.
Which
Rebels
came through late last week, but we're throwing it into this one. Is
excellent.
That the Melbourne Rising NRC is coming to SA this year. Mm-hmm. We know that on 7th of September. Which one local SA player deserves a crack at NRC level?
Standout senior players. I think
senior men's for NRC.
Oh yes, of course. NRC is men only.
Where we do have senior women's who are, some of our senior women's competing in the Super Rugby
already, and
but
hopefully
for NRC,
we'll have a few in the next year. But so NRC senior men's. Standout players. Standout players. Your mind goes immediately to some of those highlight reels that we've had out of our live stream games this year. Little Joe from Brighton, isn't he? He's electric.
He is.
He's really electric. So I mean, the things he can do, ball in hand, and his pace, that acceleration. I reckon he goes from 0 to full pace in like 1.5 steps. It's I'm glad I only had to play him once this year, and it was wet and rainy, so he was slowed down a bit, which was nice. Joey. Joey's surname is Joey Tuilawaki. Joseki, yes. Joseki Tuilawaki.
Yes.
So he'd be definitely a name to go forward.
Yeah.
Who else we got out there? We got.
Look, I'd still like Kyle Fleetwood Piper.
Yeah.
From when I saw him in 18s, where he had that pace and good mind, he's been gymming and filled out and grown into a man, right? And he hasn't lost any of that pace, right?
He's definitely got to build to be able to compete at the professional level. I think he's definitely got the muscle tone for it. So that's good pace, as you say, and he's got a good awareness of space. We saw the try that he scored on the weekend. Really, really great support running lines, getting into those spaces to be able to go.
Yeah.
Blair Marshall.
Yeah. For
Burnside. Blair's played fantastically well the last 2 years. A Don Smith medal winner. Don Smith last year, didn't he? I think. We'll double check that. Maybe we just edit that if I got it wrong. But I think Blair won if he didn't, he got best forward anyway.
Yes.
So. Blair really playing some fantastic rugby, but the beauty of Blair is Blair lives our rugby values.
He does,
through and through. So he is a a great advocate for rugby union, and if we were to choose someone out of the community to stand up and say that we're proud of, not only as a player but as a rugby person. I can't believe I'm saying this about somebody in the rugby community and somebody I know as a mate, but that's all right. I'll be nice. And no, he really is. He's a fantastic guy. He's a great player, and he would be, I think, someone we could be proud of to say we're nominating him to the next level.
We've got equally fantastic players who, when you think of NRC, we're probably looking at the youngers and up and comings, but there's players who are out there in and out, each week, guys like Troy Dowdy, guys even like Terry or even Fully, who are these converts,
very much so, and stuff like that as well. Even like Timmy Matten's still playing great rugby, but as you say, definitely on the wrong end of the scale, unfortunately, for opportunity like that.
So I'm gonna back Kyle. Look up Kyle, NRC Rising, and
Fleetwood Piper. Yeah, there you go. Anybody, I tell you what, Melbourne Rebels, if you're looking for opportunity for somebody, we're happy to send some video footage of some of our players over, and we'd be thrilled to have one of our guys have a crack. Yeah.